1, 2. Check. Check. 1, 2, 3. Check. 1. Check. 1.
I on? Come here, you big boy, while I'm getting... Hi. Great. I prefer the podium.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome, Shabbat Shalom. If everybody could find a seat so we can begin services. So, if everyone would please rise for a moment, look around. This is where we greet each other. Take a look at someone you don't know. Go over to them and wish them a Shabbat Shalom as we sing a nigun. Be seated. Now that we've taken a few moments to greet each other, now it's time to focus a little on our souls and our participation in services. So we're welcoming Yael Dadun back to our congregation as our cantor tonight, but rabbinical student, Yael Dadun, who will be leading us in worship this evening. And so we're going to do another nigun, and we ask you to try, to learn the melody and to join with us and become part of our praying congregation.
Die, 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 die. The words are die, die, die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die.
This Shabbat, we are blessed with Noah's bar mitzvah. And ask Noah to come on up with his family, help us light the Shabbat candles. If we would turn to page 2 to begin.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
As the Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all of those who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our day, be among those who kindle light.
And now we turn to page 4 for the Kiddush, the introduction to the Kiddush.
Vayahi Erev, Vayahi Boker, Yom HaShishi. The heaven and the earth were finished and all their array. On the seventh day God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all work of creation that God had done.
And now on page 5, Noah's going to help us in leading Kiddush.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen. L'chaim.
Chaim.
Beautifully done, Noah. I'm sure it'll go well tomorrow. But right now, if you're done, are you done with the Kiddush wine?
Oh, please.
Then you guys can sit down for a minute. We'll get Noah back up here in a minute. But let's turn in our Siddur to welcome Shabbat for the Kabbalat Shabbat to page 12 for Lechu Naranana.
לכו נרננה, לכו לרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. נריע, נריע לצור אישנו, נקדמה פניו בתורה. נריע, נריע לצור אישנו, נקדמה פניו בתורה. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני.
On page 20, we find Lecha Dodi, and Lecha Dodi is where we visualize the Shabbat as a bride about to enter into our sanctuary. And so we'll do verses 1 and 2, and then we skip over to number 5. And after 5, we'll stand as a community and face the entrance to the sanctuary, visualizing that moment of Shabbat entering our sanctuary and entering our lives as we do number 9. So we begin with number 1, Lecha Dodi.
יננננאי לך דודי, לננננאי לקראת כלה. Adonai pnei Shabbat nekave. Yalla la 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 lecha dodi. Yalla la 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 likat kala. Yalla la 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 pnei Shabbat nekave la. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתחילה. יננננאי לך דודי, יננננאי לקראת כלה, יננננאי פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור מראש מקדם לשוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תהילה. יננננאי לך דודי, יננננאי לקראת כלה, יננננאי פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד עיניי עלייך נגלה. יננננאי לך דודי, יננננאי לקראת כלה, יננננאי פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובתעולה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, יננננאי לך דודי, יננננאי לקראת כלה, יננננאי פני שבת נקווה. יננננאי לך דודי, יננננאי לקראת כלה, יננננאי פני שבת נקווה.
Remain standing and turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed Le'olam Vaed Yalai lai lai
Yalalai lai lai, 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 yalalai lai lai.
We turn to pages 34 and 35, where we see the Shema spread out over both pages as a reminder that it is that sense of oneness that unites not only the two pages, but unites all of us, unites us internally and externally, and unites all that exists. And we understand that to be God. We join together with Noah as he helps lead us in the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed.
Please be seated. In the Torah, the sentence of the Shema is followed by the paragraph that begins with the words, "You shall love your eternal God." When we say these words, we remind ourselves that the love of God is achieved when we use all of our powers for goodness, to do the right thing, and for the benefit of others. Please join in chanting the Ve'afta on page 36. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני
Mazel tov, Noah. You look good up there. So earlier this week, somebody asked Noah on his way in or out of temple, "Are you ready?" And I overheard and I said, "He's been ready for months." And it's true. We're so excited for tomorrow. Now you can relax. You have a few hours off. So we are going to continue in prayer on the very next page, page 37, as we recite these words of Ve'ahavta together in English. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. And we turn now to page 39. And of course, this is Shabbat Hagadol, the great Sabbath which precedes Pesach. Next Shabbat, we will hopefully all be sitting at Passover tables. And by the way, services are at 5:30 next Shabbat, just a half an hour service for Kaddish so that people can be home for Seder. So as we prepare our hearts and our souls for that leaving Egypt, we read together these words at the top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Mi Chamocha, page 40, our words of freedom.
Lai 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 na lai na lai 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 ai dai dai na lai 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 ai dai dai na lai 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 ai lai 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 mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamocha ne'edar b'kodesh nora tehilot osefelet נורא תהילות אוספלת מלכותך ובניך בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים זה אלי אנו ואמרו זה אלי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד
We sound so good. Let's continue in song. We'll turn to page 44 for the singing of Vishamru. We celebrate our Shabbat together.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Thank you, Rabbi Cantor Daudun. We are going to continue on page 46 with Hatfilah, these central prayers of our worship service. And as we ask God to open our lips, that our mouths should declare God's praise, we rise when we're ready. Na 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 Adonai. Ana na 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 Svatai Tiftach. Ana na 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 Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Ana na 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 Adonai. Ana na 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 Svatai Tiftach. Ana na 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 Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanara, El Elyon, Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot U'imahot, Umevi gula livnei v'neihem Lema'an shemo be'ahava Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah gibor le'olam Adonai Mechayeh hakol atah rav le'hoshia Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem Mechalkel chaim bechesed Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim Somek noflim ve'rofeh cholim U'matir asurim Yem emunato lishenei afar Mi chamocha ba'al givurot, umi domelach, melech me'mi tu mechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakol. Ukadoshim b'chol yom yehalalucha selah Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated. We continue on page 55 at the top. We pray together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. And we turn now to page 60 for our prayer of shalom, our prayer of wholeness and peace within each of us, within our homes, our communities, our country, and the whole world. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
We take a few moments of quiet rest, reflection, and prayer, the words in the book or the words in your heart.
Yai dai 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 dai. 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 יהיו לרצון אמרפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו Yai dai nai nai nai. 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 Yai dai nai nai nai.
We think now of those who are in need of a prayer for healing, wellness, whether it's physical or spiritual or emotional. And so if you have a loved one who is in need of a prayer, or you yourself are in need of a prayer, I ask you to please rise and share that name with our congregation.
Lawrence Singerman, Debbie Singerman, Marilyn Shuck.
Thank you. Thank you. Joni? Shulami? Thank you. Thank you. Is that everybody? We've also been asked to pray on behalf of the following people: Gail Ossip, George Lublin, Donald Krasner, Jason Albert, Lenny Hecht, Bill Meadow, Betty and Marty Baranek, Hannah Fuchs, Shifra Fega Bat Rachel, David Siegel, Judith Ryder Cornelissen, Elisa Benray, Narissa Balland, Muriel Dubrow, Steve Backenheimer, Marta Leva, Esther Bat-Shandel, Sylvia Cohen, Danny Jonas, Eileen Udy, Mort Singerman, Helen Merwitzer, Steve Ehrenberg, Ty Yehuda Yudkovic, Albert Ma, Marilyn Sheffman, Bernard Finn, Barry Harris, Susan Baum, Randy and Shirley Aronson, Adi Afek, Sylvia Levitsky, Norman Litz, Donnie Kaufman, Eva Rudner, Alex Farber, Taylor Ruby Side, Kathy Kirby, Roberta Ty, Vicki Engelman, Sherry Warbin, Richie Harris, Leonard Brayman, Lindy Passer, and Dahlia Apollo. And we continue to pray on behalf of American and Israeli soldiers who are being held captive or are missing in action or in need of a prayer of healing. So we take them all into our hearts as we chant the words of Misha Berach, which you'll find on 253, and I hope these words bring comfort and strength.
Misha before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe berach imotenu mekor habracha. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
And now we come to one of my favorite moments in a Shabbat service, and that is the welcoming of a new Jew to our congregation. So I'm going to call up Chris King to join me on the pulpit, on the bima here. Now, some of you who were up at around 6:30 this morning may have noticed how cold it was this morning. And Chris showed his devotion for how ready he was to become a Jew by running to do a mitzvah, which is to say that he was inside that water and out of it as quickly as you've ever seen somebody. And I was thinking, Chris, about how auspicious the timing of this conversion is for you, because next week you will sit at your first Passover Seder as a Jew, and you will chant Avadim Hayinu, we were slaves, and those will be your people. And so it's really a beautiful moment for you and for your family to have this special time. And so we welcome you, Baruch haba, may he who comes be blessed. O God, grant your loving favor to Christopher King, as in this holy place we welcome him into Jewish life. Knowing well the history of martyrdom in years past, Chris has chosen to join himself to our people's faith. We open our hearts to him. Strengthen Chris in his resolve. Help him to live in fidelity to the decision he has made and to the promise he is about to utter. May he always find satisfaction and joy in the fulfillment of your sacred mitzvot. Grant him many years of strength and happiness with his bride, Leilani, as a worthy member of our congregation. We praise you, O God, in whose presence is the fullness of joy. And let us all say, Amen. And now, Chris, I'm going to ask you these 6 questions, and the answer is yes. Do you choose to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people Israel and to become a Jew of your own free will?
Yes.
Do you accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other religious faiths and practices?
Yes.
Do you pledge your loyalty to Judaism and to the Jewish people under all circumstances?
Yes.
Do you promise to establish a Jewish home and to participate actively in the life of the synagogue and of the Jewish community?
Yes.
Do you commit yourself to the pursuit of Torah and Jewish knowledge?
Yes.
And if you should be blessed with children, yes, do you promise to raise them as Jews?
Yes.
Beautiful. Good job. And now I'm going to ask Chris to read a passage from the book of Ruth. We read the book of Ruth together, and I know that it really resonated with you, and so please share these words.
Ruth said, "Entreat me not to leave you or to return from following after you. For wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried."
And now Chris is going to address our congregation with some words of gratitude and an affirmation of his choice. Yes, this is your speech.
This is my speech. So I wrote it, right? Okay, so good evening, everyone. I'm actually very blessed to be here today. So my name is, like Rabbi said, Chris King, and a little bit about me. I grew up in Coral Springs with many Jewish friends and in the Jewish community. Most of those friends I'm actually still close with to this day. Growing up, I went to Shabbat dinners, bar mitzvahs, and Jewish weddings, but I never contemplated converting to Judaism myself. It was only about 4 years ago when I met a girl who would eventually become my bride-to-be. Her name is Leilani. She's actually sitting right there. And here today with her family as well. When we started dating, she asked me rather quickly as to whether I would consider converting to Judaism. She made it clear that she wanted to marry someone Jewish and to raise a one-faith family. So I briefly thought about it, but because we were very early in the relationship, I really didn't give it much thought. So after all, getting involved with a Jewish significant other of any religion that's not parallel to yours is a big decision. But since I had grown up in a Jewish community, I knew how strong the sense of community is, so naturally I was very wary of converting, but I knew if my relationship grew, I'd eventually have to make a decision on becoming Jewish myself. As luck would have it, our relationship grew. And then shortly after, my family was touched by a great tragedy. I lost my father, and only 3 months later, I lost my brother. This actually led me to a very dark place in life, as everything I had held so close to my heart was now gone. I was always somewhat religious in my old Catholic faith, but during this time, my religious beliefs were met with much anger and resentment. Why would God punish me this way, I would ask? But through the help and support of my then girlfriend, now fiance, I seemed to find the light at the end of the tunnel. So fast forward to August 2017, I would later make the decision to attend Judaism 101 here in Miami. I really wanted to give converting to Judaism a real chance for myself. It was a dark place for me, and I knew that learning about Judaism could teach me a new way of life. It was about a 5-month course, learning the Hebrew alphabet and Jewish topics such as marriage, the high holidays, and the Holocaust. Will I be accepted in the community, I always asked myself, and the answer was yes. As the weeks turned into months, I felt a new sense of belonging and acceptance, coupled with a sense of spiritualism. I truly felt so warmly welcomed into this new faith, I can honestly say that I had never experienced such a feeling before as a Catholic. Judaism has given me the strength I needed to push forward in life. Judaism has pushed the boundaries of caring for your fellow man. I have a newfound understanding and general sense of leaving the world a better place. Tikkun Olam is something I am excited about and excited about passing on to my children. I'm very proud to have had the opportunity to become Jewish, and I will continue to do my best to add to my religious education in the years to come. I want to thank Rabbi Pomerantz as well as the Sorogon Shub family for their continual support during my journey, and I can't wait to be part of the tribe.
Yes. Beautiful. Oh, you're not done.
I'm staying here? Okay.
And now we're going to go up to the ark, and I'm going to put the Torah in your arms, and I'm going to invite Leilani to come up, and she actually has a talit for you to put on for this special moment. So many people are under the misconception that you had to have had a bar bat mitzvah to wear a talit, but you simply need to be an adult Jew, and you are about to become one. So we'll put it on full. Looks good on you. Let's go on up here. I'll ask the congregation to please rise. Yeah. So, Chris, I've placed the Torah in your arms. The Torah has been with us wherever we have been as a people, sustaining us, guiding us. I hope and pray you will one day learn to read from this Torah. And I ask you to recite the first Jewish prayer that a child learns, the words of the Shema. Shema Yisrael.
Shema Israel.
Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Echad. Beautiful. That's it. No, keep holding the Torah because now you're going to receive your name. And you are known by the name Christopher Alfred King, which means that you are always linked in love to those who gave you life. And I know your mother is here, very proud of you at this moment. And from this time forth, you shall always be known within the Jewish community as Yisrael Melech ben Avraham v'Sarah. So you've chosen these beautiful names, Yisrael and Melech. And Yisrael, of course, is Israel. But more importantly and more spiritually, it's one who wrestles with God. And that's really what brought you into our people. And the second name you've chosen, Melech, which means king, means you are always linked to your family that gave you life. So Yisrael Melech, it's a beautiful name. May this name bring respect to you and honor to the Jewish people. We rejoice to welcome you, someone into our midst who willingly and devotedly helps replenish the ranks of our people. And now I'm going to ask my colleagues to join me in blessing you in the words of the ancients. Come close. Pretty soon, in just a month, we'll stand under the huppah and say the same blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. May the light of God's face shine on you and shine through you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's presence always be with you and grant you a lifetime of good health, of love, of joy, and of peace. And let us all say, Amen. Mazel tov.
Any kids in the congregation, please come forward.
Stay up. Stay up. Stay up. Sorry, my mic is on.
Page 282. You may be seated. We turn now to page 288 as we read this beautiful reading together. Please join me. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Beautiful words. We turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us. We take a few moments of those who've come before us, and as a congregation, we think of the 6 million men, women, and children who perished in the Shoah. We think of those who also lost their lives pursuing equality, justice, and freedom. And this week, we remember the following names as well that have lovingly been inscribed in plaques in our alcove of remembrance. Abe Amster, Viola Bart, Hattie Danahersh, Esther Davis, Samuel Dornfeld, Malvina Ehrenfeld, Victor Fleming, Esther Friedman, Larissa Gerstel, Bernard Glickstein, Bessie Goldman, Jack Gordon, Julia Hepps, Pete Herman, Kenneth Hershey, Lena Katz, Blanche Klein, Ruth Kleinfeld, Celia Knoll, Leon Cronish, Copel Levinson, Arpad Lowy, Rose Lowy, Nathan Markowitz, Morris Metzke, Rebecca Miller, Abraham Rabin, Gertrude Reimer, Bess Rose, Rosa Rosen, Sylvia Shaw, Muriel Simon, Doris Smith, Eugene Snyder, Bessie Summerstein, Dorothy Spunt, David Student, Ruchlia Sevagenboim, Murray Weinstein, Michael Wynn, and Abraham Zolt. And we remember those whose yahrzeits also fall at this time. David Bass, Rose Belmont, Robert Benjamin, Irving Brody, Harold Feinberg, Selma Feldman, Molly Fromm, Miriam Furtzag, Saul Geronimus, Mary Goldberg, Helen Kaplan, Francis Kerlin, Irving Coppell, Jack Levine, Sarah Lupus, Eva Lutsky, Ethel McCagno, Mayor Mullen, Frida Newman, Kathleen Okerman, Elsie Alshowitz, Philip Rosen, Coppell Rothberg, Dora Schwartz, Pauline Seiler, Lawrence Singer, Moses Statham, Samuel Stein, Eleanor Sussman, Molly Traurig, Howard Underberger, Bernard Warner, Esther Weinstein, and Jacqueline Weatherhorn. And we think of those families who remain in the Shloshim, the 30 days of mourning after their loved ones have passed. We think of Louis Levitsky, Sergio Lopez de Mesa, Reba Schaefer Sterling, Dwayne Searles, Lori Rothwarg, and Bertha Wadnicki. We also remember those in the military who've lost their lives fighting so that we may enjoy an existence full of freedom and independence. We thank them for their service and remember the following losses that happened this week. We think of the terrorist attacks of Captain Siv Dowes, 21, Sergeant Nathaniel Kalani, 20, and U.S. Department casualties remind us to think of Sergeant First Class Maitland DeWeaver Wilson, 38. If you're thinking of someone at this time or you're observing a yahrzeit, I ask you please rise, and as my hand passes over, please say their name aloud, and in a moment we'll all join you in the Kaddish. We think of all those names as we rise as one congregation and join together in Kaddish Yatom on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, b'alma divrach hirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yomachon uv'chayed chol beit Yisrael, b'agalau v'zman kari v'yamru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach leolam Me'al Maya, Yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitzpo'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brechu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories forever live on in how we live our lives. And let us say amen. You may be seated. It is my pleasure and privilege to call up Mike Weinberg, a very close friend, to deliver some words of welcome.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat shalom. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Weinberg, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Temple Beth Shalom, I want to officially welcome you to this wonderful Shabbat service. I have just a few announcements to make, but before I do, I want to wish Noah and your entire family a huge, heartfelt mazel tov on this milestone occasion of your bar mitzvah. And I do agree with Rabbi Pomerantz, you look really good up here. I know how much hard work and preparation goes into this occasion, not just on your behalf, but on your parents' behalf, and I'm sure you will be terrific, and I'm sure the celebration will be pretty great too. So don't forget to have fun, and again, mazel tov, and thank you guys and your family for sponsoring the Oneg after services. So I want to make just a few announcements. Most, you have these handouts, most of these and more are in the handouts, but with Passover just around the corner next week, I want to announce that Rabbi Glickstein and Cantor Siegel are having a second Seder here. So if anybody's looking for a second Seder, please join us here at Temple Beth Shalom. Also, on April the 3rd, the Brotherhood is going to be having a movie night, Heading Home, which is the tale of Team Israel. This is Israel's underdog national baseball team competing in the World Baseball Classic. It should be great, and this is sponsored generously underwritten by the Stowe family. And last, but certainly not least, on April 4th, there's a meeting for the post-B'nai Mitzvah parents. This should be really great. I'm going to encourage you all to attend. This is where you'll meet your community, other families that have just gone through the B'nai Mitzvah process, and learn about what's going on here at Temple Beth Shalom and what Temple Beth Shalom has to offer beyond the B'nai Mitzvah. I know this is going to be great because it is under the stewardship of our esteemed Mr. Craig Burko. So I hope to see you all there. And with all that said, I want to wish you all a happy Passover. Back to you, Rabbi.
Nice job, right? Shabbat Shalom. As we sit here tonight, it's hard to imagine that Shloshim is over. The 30-day period of mourning since 17 people were murdered at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. It feels like it was yesterday, and it feels like it was a lifetime ago. When you think about the fact that the Parkland massacre happened in the context of what is now becoming a seeming ritual of massacres, Columbine, Newtown, Orlando, and the list goes on, it should make each one of us uncomfortable to even sit here comfortably in our seats. What has this country become? What have we let this country become? This past weekend, I took our confirmation class to Washington, D.C. to allow them the opportunity to voice their anger, their frustration, heartbreak, and fear to our senators and representatives, while in the context of lobbying gun violence prevention, amongst other issues, on behalf of the Religious Action Center of the Reform Movement. The night before our appointments on Capitol Hill, I spoke to the teens. I am so sorry that you can no longer feel safe at school. I hate that each of you have to wonder if the next episode of gun violence will happen in our community. What you're doing here this weekend, I told them, exercising your voice and elevating your Jewish obligation for advocacy, this will make a difference. It will. They were listening. Teens, I began to speak to them again. Adults in our country, people of my generation, and those of the generation above mine, we have failed you utterly. What has this country become, and what have we let this country become? I ask you to think backwards 6 months or ahead 6 months from now to the Jewish high holidays. When we gather together on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year, we say, Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, we have sinned before you. Well, youth of America, Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, we have sinned before you for allowing the assault weapon ban to expire. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, we have sinned before you by allowing there to be no universal background checks at gun show loopholes. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, we have sinned before you because we have allowed bump stocks to be available to anyone. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, we have allowed the gun industry, through the NRA, the National Rifle Association, to buy, intimidate, and make into cowards elected officials on a federal level, on a state level, and on a local level. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, that in this time since I was in high school and my friends were in NIFTY, we've allowed your peers to be murdered. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, that as much as these tragic instances of mass shootings that happen in largely white, largely affluent suburbs on a daily basis, we realize that black teenagers are actually 4 times as likely to be murdered at the hand of guns than white teenagers. In 2015 alone, a black teenager was murdered every 7 hours and 25 seconds. So al chet shechatanu lefanecha, we have sinned before you. What has this country become, and what have we let it become? I spoke to the teens again, saying, across this country in the weeks since the massacre, you have gathered. You have staged walkouts. You have mobilized in marches. And look what else you did. Your generation showed up for justice, and you proved that you can speak truth into power. And now tonight, this Shabbat, many of us sitting in this very congregation are preparing to march for our lives tomorrow morning, when we get our chance to rise up as a community and speak our truth into power. In the words of Rabbi Joshua Heschel as he marched next to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we will pray with our feet. And I know that when we stand shoulder to shoulder with our teen leaders from our community, they too will feel the power of the generations who came before them, supporting them, hearing them, holding them up even higher so their cries can be heard by all. And in those cries for change, whether we march in Miami or DC or in the thousands of communities across the United States, our elected officials will hear our call, and this nation will not be able to stay silent any longer. Teens, parents, grandparents, neighbors, and friends, we are in this together. And together we can ban assault rifles. We can ban bump stocks. We can make sure that there's a robust background check system in this country where you can't just, out of the back of a trunk of a car at a gun show, buy guns that get around the background check system. But my words shouldn't ring true just on this night before a very powerful day in American democracy. Because it isn't one march, it isn't one walkout, it isn't one protest, and it isn't one tweet that will transform our nation back into the nation of justice that we know it can be. It's a persistent and consistent movement for social justice when we travel to our elected leaders' offices in Washington or their district offices in Miami. When we show up and we demand that our state reps, our state senators, our mayors, our school boards, when we remind them that they work and represent us, then change is possible. When we walk into Dick's Sporting Goods and we say, I won't buy my soccer balls or gym shoes here unless you get rid of these assault rifles, that's when change begins to happen, and it's happening because of our young teens and young adults. As we approach Passover only a week away, we know that this change is possible. We're not the first group of Jews who have risen up, proven that we can transform the world as it is, parched with injustice, into the world that we yearn for, a world overflowing with justice. How many of you in this room right now have heard of Shifra and Pua? Okay, the usual suspects. Shifra and Pua, what I feel are two of the most important leaders in Jewish history that some of you, most of you, have not really become aware of who they are. At our Passover tables, we will talk of Shifra and Pua. They were the Hebrew midwives who we learn about in our Passover Haggadah. They were low-wage workers. They were women. They had zero power. Yes, they were the ones who were charged with helping Israeli babies be born. And Pharaoh, that narcissistic tyrant who wanted to wipe out our ancestors and commit genocide, said to Shifra and Pua, when those Hebrew babies are born, if you see that there's a boy, cast it out, destroy it. And what did Shifra and Pua do? They said no. They resisted. They refused to carry out Pharaoh's decree. And you would think that they would have been executed or at least punished by Pharaoh for their act. But no, they rose up and they proved that resistance to injustice is always possible. Even for those with little power, even for those with seemingly small influence, and yes, even for those with no experience at fighting a fight larger than themselves. Every person, each one of us sitting in here tonight, we are amazingly strong, and our country knows that we're ready to take it on. Whether working alone or together, all of us can make a difference in this world as we cry out to create a more just society for our children and their children to come. L'dor vador, my friends, the next generation is counting on us. May we never have to look into their disillusioned eyes and say, Al chet shechatanu lefanecha. For yes, we have a great deal of work in front of us to still achieve, but we have been resisting injustice for over 5,000 years, and we are not going to stop now. We are all in this together, and this Shabbat, whether you plan to march, write a letter to a politician, support a teen who is traveling DC, or simply decide that this plague of gun violence is too much to remain silent for, we will fight for democracy. We will fight for justice. we will fight for our lives and the lives of the generations to follow. Repeat after me, enough is enough. Now say it like you really mean it. Enough is enough. Tonight we will be counted as our ancestors Shifra and Pua were. We will choose to do what's right and not what's easy. We will elevate our voices and exhaust our influence. And as one world community, we will change the status quo. Enough really is enough. Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to, thank you. I'd like to call up Yael Dadoun, and I'd like to thank both her and Alan Caves for their beautiful contributions to this evening. We are continuing, and we'll conclude our service on page 343.
After Rabbi Morrison's powerful sermon, I just want to tell everybody that a number of us are meeting at Miami Beach Senior High School tomorrow. A march is leaving from there at 10 a.m. We have a social justice Temple Beth Shalom banner, so look for us if you want to join us. And if you cannot march the half mile between Beach High and Collins Park, you can join us at Collins Park at 10:45 a.m. Thank you.
Exactly. Page 343. Please rise.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. יא לה 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 יא לה 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 יא לה 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 יא לה 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 יא לה 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 יא לה 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 יא לה 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 יא לה 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 עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.